Good morning and a happy Easter to you all. Our Bible reading is from Mark chapter 16. When the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James and Salome bought spices so that they might go to anoint him. And very early on the first day of the week, when the sun had risen, they went to the tomb. They had been saying to one another, "Who will roll the stone away for us from the entrance to the tomb?" When they looked up, they saw that the stone, which was very large, had already been rolled back. As they entered the tomb, they saw a young man dressed in a white robe, sitting on the right side, and they were alarmed. But he said to them, "Do not be alarmed. You are looking for Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has been raised. He is not here. Look, there is the place they laid him. But go, tell his disciples and Peter that he is going ahead of you to Galilee. There you will see him, just as he told you." So they went out and fled from the tomb, for terror and amazement had seized them, and they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid. So it is the women who go to the tomb early on the third day. They are well organised. They are intending to do what there had been no time to do on the first day, the day of Jesus' execution. Some of their number had seen the tomb where Jesus had been laid to rest, so they knew where to go. As the Sabbath was about to start, they could do no more. So they had to buy the spices to embalm the body as soon as the Sabbath was over, the second day. But of course, as it was getting dark, they had to wait until the third day to fulfill their task. They may well have carried water to wash Jesus' body before anointing it with the spices, which was the last action of devotion and kindness that they could perform. They knew that the stone had been rolled over the entrance to the tomb in order to seal it temporarily, and understandably they are worrying about how they will manage to find someone who is able to roll it back again so that they can go in. Yet, when they get to the tomb, they discover that the stone has already been rolled back. Alarmingly, frighteningly, inside they find not Jesus' body, but someone who has a message for them, who looks like an angel. He already knows that they have come looking for the body of Jesus, who has been crucified. In other words, they believe that Jesus is dead. But the message is that he is no longer dead, and he has not revived or been resuscitated or even risen by himself. He has been raised by God. How would you react if you were there? If they could get their minds around what was being said at all, they might well have wanted to know where Jesus was and when they could see him. The next shock is that the angel tells them that Jesus has gone back to Galilee and that they will have to go there to see him. Then he tells them that they must go and give this message to the male disciples as well. And this is how the original version of Mark's Gospel seems to have ended, on a cliffhanger. Jesus does not appear in risen form at the end of Mark's story, There is simply a proclamation that he has been raised to new life. And so far as the men amongst his followers are concerned, that is all they get. And they get it not directly from the angel, but second-hand from the women. If you stop and think about it, this is exactly the situation that we are in some 2,000 years later. We have an Easter proclamation that Christ has been raised, which comes to us second-hand in the pages of the New Testament and from his followers over the centuries. It is the women who are the first evangelists of the message of the resurrection. Despite fleeing the tomb in terror and amazement, and not wanting to say anything to anyone because they were afraid, they must have passed the message on. Otherwise, we would not have had this account of them and the actions that followed. They are not to hang around waiting for him to appear before they do anything. They are not to wait for intellectual or spiritual certainty. It is in getting on with their mission that they will meet the risen Lord, because it is his mission and he is still active in it. The challenge to us all is, will we make the same proclamation that Jesus is the risen Lord and continue in his mission?